up until now, my videos have been sort of about the way the world is run and you know, the practical implications of what is happening to us, why it's happening to us, and you know, sort of trying to make you aware of what it goes on day to day. But my world, you know, I spend very little time, I don't follow the news and whatever, for instance, because it's so, that's, you know, we get caught up in too much day-to-day stuff where we really are. So I've done a video before on you know, the power of the mind, and mentioned this chap who was at sea, and basically he was in a raft and he'd been eating fish, the flesh of the fish, catching fish and eating the flesh, and he was close to dying because he was only having protein and he needed the things that were in the other bits of the fish. He found himself eating the spinal cord and the eyeballs and the skin and whatever, and these on the programme that I watched it on, they listed all the things, all the nutrients that you get from the other bits of the fish, and these were the things that he needed to survive. Now his brain told him that to eat these parts of the fish, and my point at the time was, how could he have done that by himself? How could he have known that? His body told him to find the other bits of the fish attractive. He was like mad for them. He was like, oh yeah, just fancy a bit of spinal column, oh, some skin, you know what I mean, give me some skin, you know what I mean. Now how could he have known, you know, enough to crave it, right? And obviously when women are pregnant, I mean, my daughter, for instance, when she was pregnant, craved a beetroot. She ate like 2 jars of beetroot in a day, right? And didn't find out until very, very recent, till long after she'd had her baby, that she was that beetroot was high in iron, and she was actually anemic in her pregnancy. Now, how did her body know that she was to get beetroot? Now, what I believe here happens in these situations is they all helped you out, right? The collective energy we're all a part of, the other consciousnesses in it, if you need them, will come in and help you out, right? Now, one thing that, like, I realised that I've not shared, it was really quite an amazing thing to happen. It was a couple of weeks ago. I was sitting in the living room and talking to my daughter, and she said something, and then immediately she said it again. Now, I've had deja vu before, right? I get, you know, obviously I get it quite a lot, but this particular time I saw her say something and then say it again. Now, I would question myself on this had I not at the time said, what, again? And she's like, what you on about? And I'm like, you just said that twice. She's like, I didn't. But it was exactly the same. It was bizarre. I saw exactly the same thing, and it happened and then happened exactly the same straight afterwards. And had I not said to her, what again, I'm sure that now I would be questioning myself about it. But I'm learning as I go on not to question things so much. We don't trust our instincts, and we really should, because they're there to help us. Like, one thing I'd like to talk about as well is, well, that is in relation to it, time. Right? That is a perfect example of where time doesn't fit. Where did that extra bit of time come from where I saw her say it twice? What happened with that bit of time? I'm not a scientist or a professional, so, you know, I can't answer these questions, but they are questions that are amazing, you know. I take as case in point, you know, if say you're about to fall over, you say, like, you know, you're just locking the door up, you go out, and you go to drop your keys and you go to slip over. You're at that time thinking, grab the keys, grab something to hold on to. You're thinking, oh my word, there's a brick wall there, what if I bang my head? And when you come back to that particular moment, you cannot fit the thoughts that you had in that time back in that time, because they all happen overlaid with each other. When you explain it back to somebody, there's no way you can fit it back in to the time that it was in. And time is something that we're taught to measure it by a clock, right? And time is sequential, time happens and then it goes, and the time in front hasn't been there yet. I personally feel that time is one thing, I wish I knew how to describe it, but like I say, you know what I mean, I am on a learning journey. I'm just sharing my learning experiences with you. It may become clear to me. I think it probably will do. I'll probably be able to explain it one day, because that's normally what happens with what I do. So I guess I should talk about how I work, really, as well. Because I don't spend humongous amounts of time researching. I spend humongous amounts of time thinking, you know. I don't sit here all day, every day, you know, plotting ways to take over the world. But what I do want to do is find out more about how fantastic we are, so that I can prove to you that you're fantastic. Because we do some amazing things. We really, really do. And if we don't have to spend all the time trying to remember things, our brains really can take that leap out of the dimension that we're in, right, and explore. And I do think that we can communicate with souls from the past and souls from the future, because I think we're all part of one energy and one time. And so this is why I get so irate about us being shafted, right? Because there is so much more to be discovered on a personal level and as a species.